This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Jump back, twist the bones and bend the back.
Back in 1693, the people of Salem, Massachusetts, witches, thought they got rid of the Sanderson sisters for good.
We shall be back!
300 years later, it's Halloween Eve, and they're back.
We're home!
Are you broads a little old to be trick-or-treating?
We're talking about 3 ancient hags versus the 20th century. How bad can it be?
Now they're digging up old friends
God, what a stench!
and running amok,
Come on.
looking for the one thing they miss most.
You stay for supper.
I'm not hungry.
But we are.
Only one boy has the power to stop them
Prepare to die again!
You have no powers here, you fool!
before all Salem falls under their spell.
Hell on you!
Walt Disney Pictures presents Bette Midler,
Hello?
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Would thou dance with me?
and Kathy Najimy. Hocus Pocus.
Into the night!
They love to fly, and it shows.
Good night. Sleep tight. No screaming.
Hey nerds, it's Sammy, and this is Barrel Aged Chicks. Let's do this. Tonight on panel we have...
No, we're fine.
And finally...
Hi, this is Crystal, and I make everything awkward.
Happy Halloween!
Ooh, shit.
Snow, completely unprepared.
Well, this is Happy Halloween from the Barrel Aged Chicks.
Sorry.
Spooky Snow needs a minute.
I'm late to the party. The party is late.
No, the party arrives exactly when it's supposed to.
That's right. The party's here!
My goodness.
Hey, what's going on?
So what's
Hi,
going on
ladies.
is we're going to talk about one of the most fun films of this season, Hocus Pocus. All right, so super excited. I love this movie. I'm super excited to do this movie. I think Snow is also a fan
Yeah.
of the original.
Yes.
Of the original.
Yeah.
So yes, we're doing Hocus Pocus from 1993. Of course, I'm gonna feel like this is common knowledge, but of course you have Bette Midler as Winifred Sanderson, Sarah Jessica Parker as Sarah, and then Kathy Najimy as Mary, and then Omiri Katz for Max, Thora Birch for Danny, Vanessa Shaw for Allison, and then you have Larry Bagby for Ice. I'm not gonna lie, when I looked up Ice, he looks hot. Like he grew up.
Oh, he got
and
buff.
He doesn't look
Yeah.
bad. I was not mad at it.
Yeah.
When I was like,
I saw one of those transition videos where
was-
they did like, yeah.
oh really?
Yeah, well, because they have them like the stars who disappeared forever. Like Atreyu from Neverending Story has one, and you look at him now and you're like, you won't know who I am, but you know who I am, like type of situation. And he did the same. The Ice did the same situation.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I recognize you.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it was the second time I rewatched this movie as a kid, like in high school. I realized that the cat's human form is Proby
Proby?
from NCIS.
Oh yes, yes, yeah, yes.
See, I never watched that one.
Sean Murray. Yes, Sean Murray is yes, he is on that show. I have not seen that show, but it was something I came across while doing research.
It is a very good show.
Oh really? All right.
So, Sammy, what are we drinking? Because please tell me it has alcohol in it.
All right. So what we're going to do, and I don't know if this is already made. If it is, I apologize. I just kind of threw it all together. What I made was a Hocus Pocus.
I don't have one.
Oh, yours is the picture one. Hold on.
Oh, I was like, oh, you
White
handed
box.
them out? I'm missing it.
forgot it because it's in the picture.
That's not nice.
Oh. There we go. Sorry.
Thank you. Wee.
Definitely is not as green as I'd like. I probably should have thrown some food color in it, but whatever.
No, it looks green in the picture, and that's all that matters. Yes.
All right, so super easy drink. I was gonna put orange juice, but it totally messed up how it looks, so I omitted that.
Okay.
So what we have is literally half sour apple pucker, half sour apple pucker, and then sparkling apple juice.
Okay.
And I did half and half and mixed it together, and it was kind of cool and kind of, again, potiony looking. So
It
there you
smells
are.
good.
So that's it. The Hocus Pocus. Again, if it's already invented a thing, sorry, didn't know. So
You made it, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All right. Ready?
And I'm joining with just
Cheers,
the
ladies.
apple cider vinegar. Apple cider.
You're drinking apple cider.
Yes, I'm very worried
you're-
about my gut biome.
You're punishing
Your gut
yourself.
I meant sparkling apple cider.
Oh, that's good.
Is it?
It's like Granny Smith apple juice.
Ooh. Yay.
You want some?
I definitely feel like it could have something else there, or maybe just different proportions.
The glasses are differently shaped, so I
Yes.
probably did not get the same exact proportions.
But I do appreciate the 3 different glasses for the 3 different sisters.
Well, when y'all short and stumpy.
No, but it's okay. So is Mary.
I like Mary.
I like Mary too.
No, Mary's great. I'm not knocking Mary. I'm just saying, like, Stumpy.
Like one of my
That's
personal,
okay. I'm Stumpy.
Stumpy.
like one of my personal favorite scenes from both of the movies. Sorry to bring it up, but like the second one, she's flying on Roombas.
You can bring
She
her up.
flies on a
You
Roomba?
can bring up
no,
the second one.
two Roombas.
She got
like
one
fucking
under each
skates.
Yeah,
foot?
she gets one under each
She's
foot.
got good balance.
It's funny.
Good for her.
Kind of. She's a little uneasy about it, and then she gets better. And like that was one of the funniest parts of the whole movie. So she got the vacuum cleaner in the first one, so now she's stuck with the Roomba. And like, is this?
That's funny.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, parts of me are like, I kind of want to watch it because I love the first one so much. But then the other part of me is like, I just don't want to not.
Mess it up.
Yeah, the first one, there's just so much love for it, and it's such a good film. I just really don't want to watch the second one and then be like, "Mer, I never want to
Kind
watch
of
it
like
again."
watching The Breakfast Club again and then realizing you hate it.
See, I don't want to do that. That's kind of why I didn't watch it, because I literally went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I started to watch it, and I saw that one of the actors that I actually love was in it. Who is in Ted Lasso. I always bring up this
You
fucking
do love.
show.
You do love some Ted Lasso.
But the actress who plays Rebecca in Ted Lasso is the witch who like adopts the Sanderson sisters.
Oh, the witch mother.
Yeah. And she's fucking awesome. But I really didn't get very far into the movie at all. So
It has its moments.
Yeah.
I mean, do I feel like it lived up to the hype of 30 years later?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Which is hard because if you're gonna bring something, and there was
Yeah.
so much hype about it.
It was.
There was so
like,
much
when Ron
anticipation.
told me, dude, when
Yeah.
Ron told me, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I was waiting for the day it became available.
But
yeah.
it's like the Beetlejuice movie.
I'm
Everybody's
terrified.
fucking
I'm
stoked
super
it's the
stoked, but
original
I'm so scared.
cast.
I
Yeah.
have to watch it. I'm not gonna not watch it.
Oh, no.
That
I'll
one I'm
watch
definitely
it.
gonna see.
Yeah, no, that will be happening.
But it's one of those things like I'm not really afraid of them destroying Beetlejuice. It's I'm super excited about it. But like that's the kind of hype
Yeah.
that went into this.
Yeah.
And then, Disney just did their Disney thing and
Well, kind of like Dial of Destiny. That fell flat.
They're
Yeah.
getting theirs. It's okay.
No, I agree. It was, again, just like Mouse mentioned, it was like Indiana where it was built.
Yeah.
And there were some aspects of Indiana that were really cool. Like, again, CGI Harrison, not mad at it.
All the best scenes are used in the trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they were like kind of within the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, there are some moments in the second one that are fun, and of course seeing like the 3 women, Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica and Kathleen Najimy come back together and their dynamic, because they have, and again I found this out while doing research, they've maintained friendship through the last 40 years.
Which is cool.
So you can feel that chemistry on the second film. And again, for what it is, okay, you know, it was lukewarm, but it definitely did not live up to the hype in my opinion.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons
why
that I
I
just
will-
avoided it because I just I you know
But
yeah.
honestly, I think that's because just let me finish up real here. We've got also, so we talked about Ice. We got Jay, who is Tobias Jelinek, Stephanie Farsi, who is Jenny the mom, Charles Rocket, who is Dave the dad, and then my favorite, Doug Jones, who is Billy Butcherson. Yes. I love him. We're going to talk about some Doug. And then Sean Murray was actually, funnily enough, he is the Thackeray as far as the physical form and the ghost form,
But not the
physical.
voice.
He's not the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice was, I think, done by the guy that did
Max in the Goofy
Cove-
movie.
I think he did Kovu too, and like Lion King 2 or something like
That's
that.
where I knew it from.
Yeah, I think he was Kovu.
I used to
and-
love the
Damn.
Goofy movies.
Oh, they're
that's-
so
yeah.
great. Those are fun ones. That's one of the few ones Ron will watch. He likes Goofy. He's always liked Goofy. So yes, and so this was directed by Kenny Ortega, who actually hasn't done really any other movies for a whole lot. He did a lot of The Descendants, which I know is I'm gonna go to you, Snow, as a Disney thing.
I've seen all three of
It's-
them.
Oh, okay. Well, it's Mouse. What is The Descendants?
The children of the Disney villains and the Disney princes and princesses
Yeah.
are now in a school.
Yeah, they all
Oh.
go to a school together.
And
Oh,
the
okay.
son of Beauty and the Beast is getting crowned soon, and his first decision of power is to bring over a group of villain kids to give them a second chance because it was their parents' crimes, not theirs. They should be given a choice.
Okay.
And it's all about Maleficent's daughter, the Evil Queen's daughter, Cruella de Vil's son, and
Captain
the
Hook,
son,
right? Yeah,
and then son of Jafar.
yeah.
And then
Interesting.
Captain Hook's kid is in the second one. The daughter of Ursula is in the second one. Like, there is so many cool characters. Your kids would actually really enjoy it.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of
It
cool.
has the
I don't have teenage girls, so I never watched it, but I do know about
I
it.
know.
a little bit.
I know it's a big thing because I would go to Walmart or whatever around Halloween time. This was a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, and they would have Descendant
the Mel and Evie.
costumes, like, and they looked like Maleficent, like the colors and stuff like that. But I had no idea.
Yeah,
My girls, I guess, were too young to jump quite on that bandwagon,
yeah.
and just never.
They'd
thought.
probably be right there now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
At least Emma would, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, so this director, he did a lot. He did all of those, and it looked like there was also like, I don't know, like also other. There was a lot. It was a lot of Descendants.
They did have a TV series, so he might have done that.
And he did. This guy, he's done a lot of TV. So that was mainly his filmography. It was a lot of TV shows. He's written, I think, from Gilmore Girls to Descendants to, all over the place. But Hocus Pocus, of course, being what, honestly, I don't even know if he's on the map, but it definitely spoke a lot because it has a huge following.
Yeah,
And it's a fantastically done movie.
yeah.
It's super duper fun. So it was, weirdly enough, you would think that they would have released this in October or, September. No, it got released July 16th of 1993,
Heck yeah.
right in the middle of summer. I mean,
It
honestly,
makes
if it's
sense.
after
that way, it's
if
released on VHS just in time.
Yeah, there
or
you
whatever
go.
the fuck. I don't
it
know.
would have been VHS.
Was it?
Yeah.
When did VHS
Well,
go out of
yeah,
style?
think about it. That's a good marketing
not
idea.
until-
So people could buy hard copies and go home and like on
Watch 'em
Halloween
over and
snuggle
over
it
and over.
and like have a Halloween night.
Yeah. I remember getting the VHS to watch this and
Okay.
watching it with my mom, and absolutely loving it when I was a kid. So 93, I would have been.
Little.
I would have been. Hold on, I can math.
I'ma drink my drink.
Yeah, take your time. It might take a minute. Yeah, I would have been I would have been 8, like 7, 8.
Okay.
So around the same age as Danny, Thora Birch in the film.
Okay.
And yeah, I fell in love with it as a kid. So it was budgeted at $28 million.
Budgeted.
Budgeted. And some nom.
Oh my god. Okay, so we were at the hospital yesterday, right?
Oh yeah.
And Rick is high as a kite on the on the albuterol.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, one of the children.
S is
childlings was like,
outside.
yeah, but here's the thing. It looked like Ragnar for a second. I'm like,
He's waving at you.
Well, I was gonna say, if you see, like, all the doors better be locked real fast, because like it's not him.
It's our local skinwalker. It's fine.
That's fine. Well, no, we
beat him like a raccoon.
We were there, and he's laying in the hospital bed, and the doctor's trying to, or the paramedics were like getting him offloaded onto the staff or whatever. And he's sitting there, and he's like, "I've got insomnia." And it was, and they're like, "What is it?" And I was like, "Oh, it's when you want to sleep, but you're really hungry." And they just started dying, and they were like, "I got to use that." I was like, "Yeah, that's a standing joke in our house." Yeah, insomnia. But he's like high and like barely talking. He's like, "Insomnia."
That's awesome.
Because all he wanted to do was eat.
That was me a couple of nights ago. You can ask Chase. I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna have me a tomato mayo sandwich. Now I'm gonna have 2 snow cones." Oh yeah.
That snow cone sounds good.
That sounds good too. I'm hungry.
I'm over here. My fat fucking ass has
What are you
been...
talking about, fat ass?
No, I've been looking at Taco Bell for the past hour, and I'm like, I didn't place the order because I'm sitting here like, I need to save money, but it's like, ooh, that taco looks good. And it's like, I didn't know they had some of these things, and it's like, ooh, I'm a broke foodie. Fuck.
I love you, Mouse.
Yeah, you do.
You're so fucking cute.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my gosh. So yes, but it. And so gross that it brought in was again, I'm rounding these numbers, but 44,300,000 and somebody's snoring.
It is your hubby. He has buried himself
He
under a blanket.
is out. And he is loud.
Is bear.
Mm-hmm.
He's cute. I like him.
Really?
All right, that's fine. He's gonna snore.
So how much money did it cost?
So it grossed 44,300,000.
That's how much. No, how much did it cost to make?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, budget was 28 million.
Okay, and it made 44.
And it made 44. So it did good.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised given when it was released, and
I would have thought it would have made more money.
It was actually, funnily enough, when it came out, like Disney didn't think it was gonna do that great.
Yeah,
and then it did amazing.
Yeah.
And so yes,
it must have been like home sales that it did amazing, and afterwards.
I think so,
because it definitely wasn't theater.
No,
not with only 44.
Release. No, probably was like VHS and home.
Yeah.
For sure. Excuse me. Oh, there goes half my notes. That's okay. There was not a lot, I'm not going to lie, of background, but I found 2 very, very cool
Did we get reviews on the drinks?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just sitting here like,
tired.
Wait. It's really good. 2 thumbs up.
Yay. Thank you. Middle fingers.
No, yes, but in like real life, like they're really fucking
Yay.
yummy.
Woo-hoo. And how about you, Snow?
I'm going to give it... It's definitely drinkable. I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Yay!
It's
I'll take it.
very sweet, which I think it's too much apple pucker. And something to cut the sweetness would be good.
And I was thinking, I was honest to God going to put sweet and sour, but I was honestly, I don't remember how puckery apple pucker is.
Yeah.
Because I haven't drank in almost
Well, it's a
2.5
lot
years.
It's a lot of apple stuff because it's cider and it's
And that's
apple
why I wanted to
pucker.
kinda-
And then even throwing in what was
Sweet and sour?
sweet and sour. That's more tart
sour.
and stuff. So that might have been too much. There's just something.
Something missing? Needs
Yeah,
a
it needs
sweet?
something to. No, it's very sweet.
Oh, you mean something more tart?
Like so much sugar on my tongue.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean 1.5 is not bad.
No, that's true. I'll take it.
No, 1.5 is not bad at all.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I will take those very lovely scores. Thank yous. So
What would you give your apple cider?
delicious. I mean, it's what I can't ever pronounce that brand, but it's
Martinelli's?
There it is.
Yeah.
It's a fancy one. Looks like champagne. It's delicious.
Champagne.
It's
Futurama
delicious.
reference.
It's 2 middle fingers, of course, because it's scrumptious. That's why I'm limiting myself. I'm literally like, I want another glass. And I'm like, I don't need the sugar. It's going to make it harder to breathe later.
You mean like what you did with your fake Alabama Slamos? You went making a whole picture.
Those things were ridiculous. No, still the Jewel of the Nile. That's still like,
Oh yeah, that is a scrumptious
that's
drink.
the best.
That shit was expensive.
It was delicious.
I know.
That
But
plus
the syrup, that green apple syrup, was like $30 for one bottle.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's so vibrant green, though. It's pretty.
Oh, it was very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
The apple sangria he made was really good, too.
Yeah. Ragnar made that.
Ragnar.
He's like, I'm not snoring, I'm a trooper.
Princess wave.
So, honestly, I think everybody knows the story of Hocus Pocus, but since it's a podcast, we'll go ahead and give a brief synopsis. In Hocus Pocus, you have the Sanderson sisters, who are witches of Salem, that basically lure local children to eat their souls. And
in order to stay young.
In order to stay young. And so basically what happens is we open up with Thackeray Banks looking for his sister, Emily. Mm-hmm. And Emily, you see, trapping after Sarah, one of the witches, into the woods. And, of course, he goes to try to save his sister. Unfortunately, he fails and is cursed by the witches. And I loved how much they integrated in Bette Midler's showmanship and her singing in this. Even to the point of just this first curse, which I do have a sound clip for because it's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. When basically he goes to try to save Emily and fails, and they end up basically damning him by putting him into the body of a cat.
A black cat.
A black cat.
Twist the bones and bend the back.
Hit it, Captain Turn him of his baby fat.
Hit it, Captain. Give him fur black as black, just like this.
So yes.
Well, it was
super fun.
He really should have just looked at Emily a little bit harder because she was twitching. She was moving. She was bored. She was sitting there and she was moving her knees underneath her when she had her head down. And she's literally sitting there doing this. And I'm like, man, you need to get that girl like a bathroom, or the poor thing's just like, my scene's over. Can I go home now? Like she's just sitting there like this. You can see her knees twitching. And she's just literally like,
I'm not going to lie. I've never noticed that.
I noticed it when I was watching it and I was like, that's funny. And she's literally just, and I was like, I have 3 of those. I know they get bored real easy. You're not talking to them,
or maybe she's like potato chips. It's now just an empty bag, so it's just rippling.
Yeah, it's really funny when you go and just watch that.
Oh my goodness!
Not as funny as the fart, but you know,
the fart.
Yeah.
Oh,
Robin Hood.
I don't about that,
girl.
Oh my gosh.
That shit were funny. But you agree, right?
It was a fart.
It's a fart.
It has to be.
That's what I'm saying.
No explanation.
You guys were like, there's no way. And I'm like, just wait. And you heard it. And you were like, oh no. Yeah.
Something farted.
That is, I don't know if it was him or her, but somebody let out a toot.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Oh my goodness. All right. And so Thackeray Banks is turned into a black cat and is basically decides the Sanderson sisters are hung for, of course, witchcraft. So here's that clip.
Winifred Sanderson.
Yes?
I will ask thee one final time.
Yes?
What hast thou done with my son, Thackeray?
Thackeray.
Answer me!
Well, I don't know. Cat's got my tongue. This is terribly uncomfortable. Sisters, sing. Silent Mercury purify and spit upon the 12
Don't listen! Cover your ears! Listen to them not!
Fools! All of you! My ungodly book speaks to you. On All Hallows Eve, when the moon is around, a virgin will summon us from under the ground. We shall be back, and the lives of all the children shall be mine.
Fools, all of you.
Thank you, Snow.
Mook. Come to mommy. Sorry.
We got our own Winifred here. It's great. A lot of teeth. But yes,
I'm surprised she could talk with that shit.
Dude,
those dentures were for real.
She fucking nailed it with those teeth.
I wonder if she
Some
had
big
to
chompers.
like speak back and do a playback and of the audio because holy shit, man, those things were rough.
Yeah,
It would make sense if they did.
yeah.
Dub it.
Yeah.
That way
Well, 'cause-
Thackeray's not the only one dubbed in the movie.
I was watching some stuff of the like her talking while she was on the broom, and it definitely doesn't match up to what.
There's a
scene was.
desync. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they did have to go back and they were like, yeah, she just needs to be a little bit more articulate. So we're gonna do this into a mic without the teeth. Yeah. Come here. I can't even pretend to have those kind of teeth.
It's a lot of surface area.
Yeah. As you were.
That's funny.
So they executed them.
So they ended up executing them by hanging, and then but prior she does the curse and black flame candle and all that good stuff. And so we jump forward 300 years to modern Salem in the 90s, and you have Max Dennison who just moved here from California with his family, and he's not happy about it.
He's real bitter.
He's super bitter.
Yeah.
He's super duper bitter. But of course he gets the hots for, of course, the girl that's like super duper into like Salem and witches and things because, opposites attract. And that's what happens in movies. And now let's take a word from The Den.
Deluxe Edition Network, also known as The Den, is an incredible podcast network that offers a wide variety of entertaining and informative podcasts.
With a lineup of shows covering various topics, such as interviews with a wide variety of guests, history, music, relationships, true crime, and so much more. The Den provides content that caters to a diverse range of interests.
The hosts and guests on the Deluxe Edition Network demonstrate a deep passion and expertise in their respective fields, making each episode on each show engaging and thought-provoking.
The network fosters a sense of community by encouraging listeners to interact through live chats, social media, and forums, creating an inclusive environment for discussion and sharing opinions.
With its commitment to high-quality production, the shows in the Deluxe Edition Network continue to captivate and entertain its ever-growing audience.
Whether you're a podcast enthusiast or someone looking to explore new topics, The Den is a fantastic platform to dive into and uncover fascinating insights from experts in their fields.
The Deluxe Edition Network is the home of independent awesomeness.
To find all these great podcasts in one convenient location, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Sorry, I'm being Winifred.
Oh my Lord. There was no preparing for that.
Oh my fuck.
I don't know if we have a viewing audience, but for those of the radio land, Snow literally just took a wad of something and shoved it
Paper
up
towels.
like, oh dear Lord. You look like Bugs Bunny.
So did she. She listened to the fucking ears. Fools! All of you! That fell out.
Oh, goodness.
Dry now.
I wonder why.
Anyways, Mac's super bitter. And he decides to ride home. He meets freaking Jay and Ernie, who are the local punks. And gets
Ice.
Ice. That's right. His name is, I don't go by Ernie anymore. It's Ice. And dude, it was so 90s shaved into his fucking head. Oh, so 90s. Because I remember that shit. Jeez. Yep. That was the thing.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Hollywood. Hey.
Freaking the stoner. Which again, didn't realize they asked him for drugs until I rewatched
He looked
this
like
movie.
fucking Jay from.
I did look like Jay from Silent Bob. He totally looked like Jay from Silent.
I don't know what came out first, but who wore it better is all I'm saying.
He might have been wearing that. It was Halloween time, right? Mm-hmm. Could have been wearing a costume.
Oh, I don't know. I think that was just them.
No, they definitely weren't dressing up for a costume.
Fair.
But that was fun. But it actually does kind of fit because the other guy was wearing a jersey. So maybe.
Kind of like
maybe it was kind of a very remote call to say Jay and Silent Bob. I don't know. I'm going to look that up. You keep talking.
All right.
Kind of like how they asked the cop for help and the cop wasn't a cop.
Which, wouldn't that be illegal?
Yes.
Because he had that shit like...
Highly fucking illegal.
Yeah, I'm like, that's impersonating a cop.
Yes.
We will get to these things. Woof. So so basically meets them, gets his sneakers stolen, goes home, has a temper tantrum about taking his sister trick-or-treating, and we get to meet Danny. Danny is Thora Birch, and she is honestly a typical like 8-year-old, kid. She is super into Halloween. She's super into witches, learn about the Sanderson sisters, all the good things. And basically, Max is supposed to take her out trick-or-treating. Now we cut to Max and Danny are out trick-or-treating, run into Jay and Ice again, and essentially end up with Max being bitter, taking it out on Danny. She lays down at a pumpkin patch and cries. He cheers her up. Next thing you know, they're at Allison's house because we have to keep the plot going. Because let's be honest,
she wasn't in a pumpkin patch. She laid down on a pumpkin at somebody's house.
Well, like I'm saying their like little pumpkin patch, like their decorative display.
Yeah.
And so, so they end up running into Allison. So then Allison comes down and she's kind of like, from the upper class part of Salem. They got their whole fancy masquerade ball situation happening and they're all wearing their colonial stuff. And she comes down and essentially she's like, hey, my mom ran this museum. I'm into the Sanderson sisters too. Cool, let me change and let's go break and entering into this museum.
I mean, they just walked into her fucking house.
They did. And so
Clerks came out in 1994, and this was 93. So it definitely wasn't first.
It was
maybe they took it off of these guys.
Maybe.
Who
knows?
You don't know.
They're like, who we need to model?
Eerily similar.
We need to model these after. Ernie and Ice.
The
Jay and Ice. That's those two from Hocus Pocus.
The idiots from Hocus Pocus.
That's how you make memorable characters to spread over large franchise.
Who sprung them from the cage?
Yes, which is actually something that is left still open-ended in the second movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So
do they is
they
it
reference
skeletons?
it. No. So they reference that because again, Mary is trying to give Winifred recall of how things were going. And she literally mentioned, she goes, and the boys were in the cages. And then goes on, like nothing else, doesn't break stride. So
they're trying to figure out like when they are or something?
Yes, what happened with basically, getting debunkled or whatever in the first film. And still never mention what happens to Jay and Ernie.
They just left them there.
Honest to God, I was like, are they going in the thing? Are they just going to be skeletons in the cages? Like,
that would have been fucking hilarious.
They're just now part of the display.
Not gonna lie, that would have been fucking hilarious.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it was technically a museum that was used day to day. So eventually,
I don't think it was used day to day. That thing was dusty as hell, and they didn't know where the lights.
Maybe that was atmosphere.
She used to run the museum. I think the museum had been shut down for a while.
Had been down for a while. Ooh,
yeah.
Poor Ernie and Jay.
Because that museum, if it had been open, Halloween would have been prime time for that shit.
That's true. That's very true.
Especially in a place like Salem.
Fair statement. So, that's actually something that is still left open-ended, but I did find it fascinating and funny that they did reference it in the second movie. I thought that was kind of cool. So they go in and they, go to the book, which is pretty much a character in this movie.
It looks at you.
It does. It's got a wandering eye. You gotta watch that book. But I thought it was cool. I love that it was practical effects. That is something, again, with Hocus Pocus 2 that was kind of lost because it's not that real tactile. It's more CG. It's CGI. And I liked the book. Book I thought was just kind of cool. Yes, and how Winifred calls for Book.
Yeah.
So you have Book. And Book is there, and he's hanging out, waiting for, the party to start. And then you have Max, who's basically trying to impress the high school girl. So he's like, oh, cool, let's look at the black flame candle and all of those things. And he decides to light it.
Which he really doesn't got a whole lot of brains to him because he's like, I don't believe in this, but it says it takes a virgin. He knows he's a virgin, but he's like, nothing's going to,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't think anything was going to happen.
Why? It's because he's from California. He's fucking brain dead.
And I love how the little kid is giving him shit for being a virgin. Like, you're younger than him. Back the fuck off.
Yeah.
My whole brain thought was going, do you know what a virgin is? She obviously does.
And it's interesting because that was one of the things when, if I heard correctly on one of the sites I was listening to, was that they were kind of surprised that it was in like a Disney movie. And it's definitely one of those things that you don't pick up on until you're older, at least teenage-ish, I would say. And but it was interesting that they felt it so, not only putting it in there that, basically being a virgin is not a good thing,
but then a joke about it.
But then several jokes about it.
Yeah.
And and that's a very weird thing,
Yeah,
and
but that's Disney.
Yeah. And unfortunately it was
They've been grooming for a long time. Yeah.
It was definitely one of those things when I look back, I was like, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that he's a virgin is integral to the plot. Wouldn't have happened if he had fucked around.
Right.
If he had been a horse, no Return of the Sanderson sisters. Very short movie.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, and he did. So they came back.
Yeah.
And it was great because for me,
Allison probably was too.
Yeah.
But she wasn't stupid enough to light the candle is the point I'm trying to get at.
Wow. Yes. Well, I think that was just one of those instances of like, I'm going to impress you, but it was really dumb right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then they summon back the Sanderson sisters in fulfillment of the curse that Winifred put on them. And for me, this is where, honestly, the movie starts. Like, it's fine. Like, the intro's great. Need the backstory. But honestly, like, for me, the trio, that's the movie for me. I love seeing them. I love seeing the three of them working off of each other. They're fucking hilarious.
They cut a lot of their stuff out of the movie.
They did because
it was supposed to be super, super dark actually in the beginning, and they ended up cutting it up to lighten it up and lessening their role to make it more family friendly.
Yeah,
and less dark. So.
Well, it made me wonder, and I don't know if you or Crystal have you ever seen Watcher in the Woods from Disney?
No.
It is definitely darker Disney, but it is amazing. But it scared me as a kid. It was a dark Disney movie. And this I felt when I was reading it, and the fact that it was supposed to be really like a lot darker, it made me wonder if they were trying to go in that same vein. But again, I think you're right. It was marketability.
Yeah.
They wanted to be able to spread it to families.
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you have witches eating like nom 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 cannibalism children in a film.
Yeah.
Which is again alluded to in Hocus Pocus 2. They go on like basically I'll let Mouse explain the scene.
I didn't rewatch that one because I know we weren't doing it for this.
When they're in the beauty products.
Yep. Yes. That was a very weird section.
So they're in the beauty products in like a Walgreens or something in the second film.
I think it was a CVS.
Or CVS, like a drugstore type thing. And they're in
all three just kind of walking down side by side. With their
they're doing their witch like walk.
Oh, did this movie have product placement?
Like
the Haunted Mansion?
Oh, that had a lot.
Well, no, because they mentioned CVS by name in the Haunted Mansion. That's why I bring it up. So if they were in a CVS, that'd be funny if they were doing product placement because they're struggling so bad financially.
Well, they walk up to it and they're like, they kind of like...
Yeah, the door opens.
And like, you see the sign when they walk in up to it, so that might be the product placement.
Yeah.
And there's some subtle ones, like some labels are clearly visible, but it's
like... Anytime you can read a label in a movie, it's definitely on purpose because there's like...
They're getting money for it.
They're getting money for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's all like a sponsorship. Because if you notice, and if they don't have that, it'll be like some generic label.
Yeah.
Or some off-brand or something that looks like a Pepsi, but it's like a Pipsy or something like legitimately close to, but not really, so that they can get away with copyright.
Yeah. And they don't have to pay royalties. My favorite joke about that was in Wayne's World. When Garth is wearing like the Reebok and like they're blatantly just mocking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. It's so fantastic. Whenever I think product placement, I just laugh about that. So they're in the drugstore, whichever it is. And basically these girls are telling them that the beauty products are basically going to sustain them. And so they're like, oh, so it's baby face cream or something. And she thinks it's legit babies. And like Mary picks up a face mask, the weird one that looked like Hannibal Lecter. And they're like, she thinks it's like a child's face and she starts like eating it. It definitely went more cannibal-y in the
I'm
new
glad
one.
I didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, because you don't do cannibalism.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's the whole like conspiracy theories with Hollywood, like consuming children to remain young, like the adrenochrome thing. It's like a legit conspiracy theory out there that they like part of the whole human trafficking thing is them kidnapping children and drinking their blood essentially to absorb their youth. It's pretty fucking gross.
Well, to kind of
so the fact that Disney put that kind of shit in its movie just makes it that much worse for me.
To kind of add to that, the fires that are currently happening.
Oh, yeah.
There was an order placed right before everything went to shit for all of these kids to be released and sent home. There's like, I think it's 200,000 or 20,000 kids. Like, they're all missing.
In Maui.
Yeah. And there's a video that was released of a helicopter.
The babies.
There was a video released of a helicopter flying overhead through all the smoke and leaving the island, and it's not a normal helicopter; it's a cargo
helicopter. Well, it's also the school bus. The school bus yard was empty, which the school bus yard, which should have been at that time of day full, was there was only like 6 buses in it.
Yeah.
Weird.
And Oprah, who owns like a fuck ton of all of that place, you'd think all of the land that she owns, she'd let people go to like get, relief or anything. No, she's bought extra security to put around the borders of her property to make sure people stay the fuck out.
Yeah.
And she bought all
but her property was untouched by the fires.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, completely untouched.
Yeah. There's just a whole bunch of shit that goes into this stuff. So I'm like, so the fact that like, anything I hear that kind of feeds into all the conspiracy theories that have been going around for years about the kind of shit that Hollywood pulls, and Disney feeds into a lot of it. And to see them just blatantly putting that shit out, I'm like, yeah, no, there's a reason y'all have lost $11 billion in this year, like alone. In 3 months, they lost like $11 billion. They lost $500 million in subscribers to Disney Plus.
Wow.
In the last since July.
Oh, deadass! If I can get a hard copy, if I can get my hands on a hard copy of the Orville seasons, I'm gonna get off of Disney.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that like people, your dollar if you don't agree with what you see, your dollar talks. Because that's why the Haunted Mansion was all product placement. They're fucking struggling, and they're raising their prices. Disney Plus is raising their prices in October to almost $20 a month. Because they're struggling.
Wow.
They can't afford what they're doing. But it's not stopping them either. So we'll see.
And they're caving on
they're
their
not getting a
morals.
fucking dollar from me is all I'm saying.
Like, even the parks are caving to not getting a lot of money because Disney, when he first created his parks, he did not want alcohol at all in his parks. He said, it brings in a group that I do not want here. It's a rowdy crowd I don't want. It's a family place. Outside of Star Wars and places like that, you shouldn't be able to find alcohol. There is now alcohol in the standard Disney resorts.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They have carts. They have carts with Budweiser and whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
That right there is a key example of how they've
For our
gone.
listening audience, Sarah, myself, I live under a rock. I do. I don't like the internets.
Yeah.
I do it for the podcast because I love our listeners. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
But I'm not a I don't follow news because it just makes me very angry.
It's depressing. It's really depressing. But then the good stuff is that you do see that
Excuse me.
that people who don't agree with what's going on, and it's working. Like like they can ignore it all they want, or they can push all they want, but at the same time they are losing a substantial amount of money by catering to a very small demographic rather than your majority, and
what it was founded on,
and the
essentially, which was family.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I have no problems. I do not care what anybody does in their personal life. That is your business. Yeah. That is your preference, and it is your normal, and there's nothing wrong with that. But kids don't need to know about it because kids are not sexual creatures, and the fact that people are trying to make kids into sexual creatures
is wrong.
Is very, very wrong. Yeah. And then turning this whole the absorbing the youth of children, which is like a legitimate fear that has been around for a while, and you're just like blatantly throwing that shit out there. And they have been. I mean, 1993, I never noticed it. It was just a thing like it seemed like a witch would do. But now,
like sucking the soul out of the child.
Yeah, like it was one of those things where it didn't like I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
But now there's just so much stuff out there, and it's just disturbing. And then to see it taken to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is this mask a child's face? And then I'm gonna eat that. Like it's just kind of that's.
Well, I don't know exactly the verbiage, but yes, that was they thought they were consuming children. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's essentially the vibe.
Yeah. They're consuming children to keep young, essentially.
Well, that pretty much locked in my. I'm not gonna watch the movie. Both of them. I know.
Yeah. No, we're
like,
chorusing.
They're cute. They're
Ron
twins.
Get that loud?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
It's
a
in
symphony.
stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got now a tenor and a bass, and they take turns.
Can you record some or take a picture? They're adorable. I think it's really cute that Ron is covered up with a blanket on his face and Ragnar has a hat over his face.
Yes, they're both.
We're
riveting tonight.
We always are. We put them to sleep constantly.
It's really cute because under his hat,
You don't have to whisper. He's not going to wake up.
he's got his little mouth open.
Yeah. They're cute. That's funny. Oh, the boys.
They're twins.
So yeah. So like, gosh.
Back to the fun movie.
Back to the fun. Back to Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
We'll stay with Hocus Pocus because it's honestly a better film.
Yeah.
So
it is a super fun film. It's very well done.
It really is.
It's got fun writing. The characters are really interesting. You definitely see. It's funny watching it back and seeing the sibling dynamic between Max and
Danny.
And I'm sitting there watching it. And I'm like, I have those kids.
Yep.
Like they definitely just pick at each other because one wants to hang out with the older one. The older one doesn't want anything to do with it. They're too grown for that shit.
Yep.
So then the little one will poke the older one. Like I see it every day. Yeah, I love it. I love seeing the sibling dynamic. It was really fun as an adult,
as a parent, especially.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah,
but it's also one of those things, kind of how you rained on my breakfast club parade. I'm also sitting there like breaking and entering, driving without a license.
Well, this one didn't. You don't know that he doesn't have a license.
I guess I don't know.
You don't know how old he is.
That's
They
true.
don't
That's
say
true.
if he's 17, 16, 18.
He could. All right. All right.
And in all fairness, in the 90s, like they
Nobody
don't do this
cared.
shit now.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was as soon as you turned 16, you had your license. Like kids don't do that now.
Mm-hmm.
They're really late for the most part. Some kids they won't get it. I had my license on my 16th birthday. That's what I did on my birthday is I went and got my driver's license. 15 and a half, I was at the DMV taking that test. But a lot of kids now, they're just that motivation to go somewhere is not there. They just rather stay in their house.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's a whole nother generation.
No, it's to me it was funny because again, like having that adult brain versus watching it as a kid.
Yeah.
Still fucking enjoyed it.
I definitely appreciated it in a different way, but I still enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't a thing to where, like during the Breakfast Club, which you brought up, I go back and they're sleeping so hard. I go back and listen to it or watched it, and I was like, ugh. As a parent, I hate these kids.
Yeah,
like I really hate these kids.
Yeah.
As this one, as a parent, I totally see my kids like exactly in this position. Yeah. And it wasn't off-putting. Like they're not shitty kids. They're just siblings, and they're just doing what siblings do. It wasn't that they're like my parents are shitty, and like parenting is terrible, and we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want. Like that's what those kids ended up being.
Shitty kids versus non-shitty kids.
Shitty kids versus non-shitty kids, just siblings.
So the Sandersons come back, and they are trying to find the souls of children to take so that they can live beyond one night back on this earth. Because the black flame candle only works for one night. So they've lit it. The witches are back. They run into... Oh, I'm sorry. Prior to this, technically, they had met Thackeray because he attacked Max before he lit the candle to try to discourage him.
Still alive.
Yes. So, yes. Meet Thackeray and Thackeray now. They have Thackeray on their quest or whatever. They're, trying to shut down the Sanderson sisters before they can basically... feed off of children's souls and live forever.
Yeah, Thackeray's trying to have some redemption because he
for losing
failed
Emily.
his sister.
Yes.
And yeah.
And
but she was awake. She was just twitchy.
Yeah, you know. And so now we're brought through the shenanigans of the sisters as they run amok.
So after the Sanderson sisters wake up, they end up wanting to have like this. They're going in search of children. They can't find any. So they find they can't even though the kids are all over the place dressed up. They're like hobgoblins, and then they run into the devil, which is just Rob Marshall and Penny Marshall, who played a married couple, which was weird.
Yes, Jerry and Penny.
Yes,
yep.
Yeah. So they run into them, and they think it's Satan, and it's
flirting with the bus driver.
Flirting with the bus driver, which was kind of hilarious because he's like, he doesn't get out much because he's like, yo.
Oh yeah. He's like, I'll even take Mary.
Again, with the blatant obvious joke about how many times it's going to take him to impregnate them.
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't catch that?
Do what?
So when the bus driver opens the doors and he goes, it's a bus, it's to take you to the most forbidden desires.
Yeah.
And Winnie responds and she goes, we desire children.
Yeah.
He literally says, it may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that'll be a problem.
I didn't take it that way. I totally didn't take it that way.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally took it that way.
Yeah. I didn't see it, that my innocent brain. I'm literally going, oh, you just going to take you a couple of tries to find the street where the kids are trick-or-treating.
I've spent too much time with Chase.
I wasn't like, we're going to knock all of y'all up.
No, because it's doubled down when it ends, obviously with Sarah riding on his lap, but also when it ends and he's like, do you want my bus number, da-da-da-da-da-da, and everything else. So it's him trying to get some.
He was flirting, but I really didn't think that that's what he was going with it. He was like, we're in search of children. And he was like, okay, I'm going to take you to find some trick-or-treaters, which he does, but I didn't take it that way.
Yeah.
He tells me all the time. He's like, you're so cute. Like, I don't find the dirty easily. Mm-hmm. When I do. But sometimes it has to be really blatant because I miss
the
shit
city
all
of
the
D. Just the tip has been revealed.
Yes. Oh God, the lost city of D. That movie is fucking hilarious, and everybody needs to listen to that episode and watch the movie. It's so funny.
All right, so
so they have all these shenanigans and finally realize, oh, these are kids. They're dressed up. Halloween or All Hallows Eve has turned into this farce. Yeah. And then they ended up tracking down the kids when the parents are trying to tell, or when the kids are trying to tell the parents at the party what happened.
Which I have.
They track them down, and then they end up spelling the whole town of adults.
And of course, we were going to have this with.
I put a spell on you. I put a spell on you.
And now
you're mine.
So great. I love that Midler's though, her singing.
Things I do. I ain't lying. No! Don't listen to him! Been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you.
Good joke. Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot. No, man, I'm serious. Yeah. You got your head. You're not kidding. All right. Yeah, cheer up. Let's go, guys.
For copyright.
Oh, okay.
You can't play the whole song.
Honest to God, I thought you were like, are you passing out? I'm kind of like, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I know you are. But no, you can't play the whole song.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry. My bad.
No, but it's really fun.
Yes.
And then that was actually going to get taken out of the movie.
Yes.
They were going to throw it away.
Yeah.
But it ended up being like
their
this
showstopper
key thing. Yeah, this key thing that was a super hit because they were like, we can't put a music number in this movie.
In the middle
it's
of
not
which
gonna make
movie?
sense. Yeah.
No.
But it turned into this big whole thing.
Yeah.
And everybody who does the singing it's their actual voices. Mm-hmm. So Sarah Jessica Parker, which she actually has a really lovely voice.
Yes.
And it's her voice.
Which I will.
Do you have that one?
I will once we get to that part of your synopsis.
after this interaction in the party, they the kids end up leading them into the school.
Yes.
And
tricking them into
getting into the oven with bonjour. Je veux mon livre. Yes. So funny.
French tape.
Yes. Yeah.
I
so
want
funny.
a children's book.
So fucking funny. But and then they think they win, and they go on with their, go
Their
back to
night.
the house. They're gonna go relax, and Allison and Max are gonna go get it on and de-virginize him and whatever. He's like, I'm finally gonna get laid. I can't light another candle, and we're done. No, and then the witches obviously did not die.
Yes.
And they're fireproof.
Yes. They can't be dead. They can't be dead.
It was really cool how smoke came back in.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun.
They have some really good effects in this movie, especially for like early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. I like their flying.
Oh, and they actually did that.
Yeah, they were suspended.
So one of my favorite tidbits I found, again, doing this, was Sarah Jessica Parker, very petite woman.
Yeah, she loved being up there.
She did.
Yeah.
She would actually take, I think she said it was the Times, and she'd shove it up her back.
Yeah, she would watch the Times while she's up there.
She'd be reading it, like just hanging out. Like, I'm like, how much fun would that be? Like,
how
that's
much
your
of an
job.
uppity bitch are you that you're reading the New York Times on a broomstick? Fucking
just up there.
Like,
I know I have to say a muck in a minute.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. You know that she was only doing the crosswords.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So, yeah, but then they realized that they wanted to find a way to save Binks. They wanted to bring him back. So that's why they opened the book, which lured the witches back.
Yes, by summoning them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it let them know where he were, and they wouldn't find her. They kidnap Thora Birch.
Yes,
Danny.
and Binks, because he's in the bag over the oven or the stove or the fucking fireplace. Good God, I'm tired.
It's all the same.
I need
it cooks things.
It cooks things.
The cooking of things.
It holds in the fires.
Yeah, hot cat. So yeah, there's a lot of angst in this movie. It's fun the way they trick them. They trick them with the
putting the little like piece of film over the light to give it like a rose hue.
Yeah, well then, and also the lighter with the fire sprinkler system.
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny. And I was like, the rain of death, the burning rain of death.
Yes.
But then they're like, they're so stupid. As soon as it touches them, they're like, it burns.
Yes. I know. It takes them a minute. They're like, oh, wait, we're fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're slightly dramatic.
The headlights. We're dead. We're just laying on the ground.
I love Sarah, though. She's like, like,
yeah.
She gets that last, like, grunt out.
It burns.
It burns.
All I'm picturing is Gollum. It burns us.
Oh, my Lord.
So fucking funny. Yeah, they had really fun gags. The trickery of the witches because they're so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, and then of course they're helpers because you've got Billy Butcherson, who they summon to basically be their land force.
Yeah, because they can't walk on hollow ground, so they make a zombie.
So they make Billy the zombie, and you find out his backstory, and basically he was getting it on with Sarah when he was with Winifred, and she.
I mean, you don't blame him.
Well, yeah, you know,
Sarah was pretty.
Yeah, she's hot.
Sarah Jessica Parker used to be real pretty.
Yeah, she's primo SJP in this for sure. And so of course you have Billy Butcherson who's helping them, and he is played by the amazing Doug Jones,
who you got to speak to.
I did.
It was cool.
I did get to speak to him.
Got to participate in an interview with him
on the internet. It was super duper cool, and he shared with me I was allowed to ask one question, and my question was, what was his like most memorable creature that he's done? Because he's done so many. And he told me a story about this movie called Bug Buster that he was in. And Mouse has actually seen it because it is super B movie.
Yeah.
It is really a B movie.
And he's this big bug monster in it. And he told the story, and if I can remember it correctly, he actually ended up injuring one of the other actors because he couldn't see with these giant not pincers, but like almost like praying mantis hands.
Yeah.
And so he told me that story, and of course that was his most memorable experience.
Yeah.
And it was super duper, and he was so sweet. He was such a sweet guy. Like, it was just really, really cool, cool life experience. And
it was
very,
a cool
very
interview.
grateful. It was really, really fun. And so that is actually going to be a quick question I have. What is your favorite Doug Jones creature?
See, now I'm going to have to research to find out all
So
of
I have
the
a
creatures.
list. I have a list.
Okay.
So
do you have all of them or just like
I
top
have them.
5?
I have the big uns.
Okay.
The big uns. I'm gonna give you a good array.
Okay.
So you have Abe Sapien from the Hellboy films.
I knew he'd be the first one on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, that's yours?
No, I said I knew he'd be the first one on the list.
All right. He was in Legion.
He was Shape of Water, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the creature in Shape of Water. He was Bye Bye Man in the Bye Bye Man. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Never heard of it.
We've seen that one. He was the mom and the Ghost in Crimson's Peak.
Yeah.
He was the Ice Cream Man in Legion, excuse me. The Ice Cream Man in Legion, which is, that scene's bananas. Just the way that he's like, it's super cool.
Good movie.
It is. He was in Ouija, Origin of Evil as the ghoul, Marcus. He was like,
that one.
it's decent.
It's pretty all right.
It's decent. And then, of course, Shape of Water, as mentioned, and Pan's Labyrinth as the Fawn.
Yeah.
And the Pale Man.
And the Pale Man. Thank
Yeah.
you. So of the ones that I found, and then if you've seen The Time Machine, he was the main bad guy, Spy Morlock. It's like, he was like this white creature and like had very almost bat-like. Am I thinking of the right guy? Or am I thinking of a different monster?
They were more ape-like.
Ape-like.
Yeah, they were more ape-like.
Okay. We just watched Van Helsing. I've got bats on the brain.
So for me, I think I'd go with Billy.
Okay.
Because it's a cool looking character. The moth and dirt thing is very fun.
Yes.
Because that was actual real
did it.
moths
Yep.
that he had with a dental dam so
Yep.
they wouldn't go in his throat. With the real moths and dirt he spit out after cutting open his face.
And they had to do it twice.
Yeah.
And he was, again, watching the interview, I got to see a snippet of a Doug Jones interview back from like, I don't know, 2000s or something. And he was talking about that, or it was recently, I think, actually, because I think it was in relation to the new film coming out.
Yeah.
And he talked about it, and he's like,
you could feel him moving in your mouth.
You could feel him moving, and he just did this visceral, like,
yeah.
And I was just like, he's adorable.
Yeah.
He's such an amazing actor and so transformative. I love seeing him.
It's just a fun character. He's got a lot of personality. Doesn't have a lot of screen time.
No,
but he does have a lot of personality. He's like, you bitch.
Yes.
You trollop. And it was supposed to be more cussing, and he improvised it and changed it because he didn't feel it was appropriate for a Disney movie. Yep. So he went more vintage in the
because he was originally supposed to call her a bitch.
Yes,
and he was like, nope, not doing that. Not comfortable.
Yeah,
nope, not appropriate. And I actually have him right here.
Yeah.
And put some wiggle in it, you putrid pestering saw! Don't come along now!
Just don't breathe on me.
Kill him! Do it now!
Wench.
Trollop,
you buck-tooth mop-right firefly from hell! Centuries to say that.
Say what you want, just don't breathe on me.
Billy!
Billy!
What I should do you again, you maggoty mouthpieces!
It's so fun.
Yeah.
God, I love the dialogue in this movie. It's great.
What would your favorite be of him?
Well, I'll get Mouse's and then I'll finish this out.
And
Fawn?
The Fawn, yeah.
Ditto. I knew it was gonna be the same. I love Pan's Labyrinth and
that's going to be a future episode at some point.
As much as I loved him playing as the Pale Man, there's just something beautiful about how they did the Fawn.
Oh, it's breathtaking. And I've watched, and again, we will do this episode. I've watched background stuff about how they did everything for the lakes, and it is art. It is art, but it was also, he learned how to speak Spanish for it. He didn't want to be dubbed, and he wanted to be his own thing. And he has a very unique dialect because he learned it just for the role. And again, it was super fun. But again, on a future episode. But I agree. I'd have to go with the Fawn. I absolutely loved him as the Fawn. But I mean, in all honesty, you can pick any of these films, and his performance is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And I mean, just the sheer way that he brings the creatures to life.
Yeah.
So yes, I wanted to spend a little extra time on Doug Jones because he's fantastic.
He's a lot like Andy Serkis. He reminds me of Andy Serkis,
Yes.
who's somebody who's very, very amazing character actor. Andy Serkis does more with motion capture rather than the actual practical effects on him, but it's still the same concept, and it's very, very cool how they bring these imaginary characters to life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, tips off to the practical effects in this film. Because, I mean, you had early CGI. You see that with Binks and the way that they get him to talk. So I am so grateful that it was made when it was, and it was so practical effects because it gives it a richness that, again, just didn't jump ahead 30 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I absolutely love this film. When was the first time that you saw this?
I was in the theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky duck.
Well, I was like 11, so yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what about
11
you,
or 12?
It was on the Disney Channel for Halloween. I think I was in middle school.
Okay. All right. And I already shared mine when I was when it came out on VHS and we could watch it.
Did who is your favorite sister?
It's hard because I like them all. But if I had to gun to my head, I'd have to go with Winifred.
Okay.
Because Bette Midler just, I mean, she is just a hoot and a half as this character. And this is actually Bette Midler's favorite character to play in her career of film. So yeah, I'd have to go with Winifred.
What about you?
Sorry.
I kind of like Mary.
This is fun because I like Sarah.
Oh, there you go.
I think Sarah is so fun because she's an idiot. Like she's a legit idiot, but she's kind of endearing, even though she's a soul-sucking bitch. She's kind of
My lucky rat's tail.
I know. I just want to play with him. You know, it's just like
again something that like I'm guarantee everybody watching is like, yes, please.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet you there was a lot of young boys that wanted to be in her cage.
Me. Yeah, she's just.
I love how she just pokes him when he's in the cage with the little pitchfork. She's just.
She does a lot of really like subtle
background stuff.
Stuff that just kind of steals scenes.
Physical comedy.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
really, really funny in this movie, and she kind of cracks me up. And I love how each witch, the way they did the flying, is they all got to practice in their own for not with each other to create their own styles of flying. And it's very cool how that's why they ended up doing that initially before bringing them together so that they could interact together, but each have their own differing style of flying based on their characters.
And those were found by I can't remember exactly who did it.
It's their driving styles.
Yes.
Yes.
It was, they literally they went in the car with them and watched how they drove.
Yeah.
And then they modeled how they flew the brooms after how each of the actresses drove their cars.
Yeah.
Which I thought was super cool.
Which really is scary because you don't want Sarah Jessica Parker behind a car because she's literally like,
I know, she is all over that broom.
She's just doing carpool karaoke and like, honestly, I think that's my.
She's the one doing mascara and singing and drinking coffee and eating a donut while steering.
She's very relatable. Scary. But yeah, it's funny. I love how quirky Mary is. She's super cute, and she's
I love
like,
Mary.
"On what do we fly?" Like,
yeah, she's the sound of reason.
She's
the grounder. Like, guys, there may be a snafu, or let's form a calming circle.
Yeah, the calming
we
circle.
need a calming circle, lady.
It's like we need to go find the child, and like we have children. There's plenty of them. I want that one. Okay,
Yes.
well we're all gonna die. Thanks, bitch. So it's, like literally,
Because if you're Vendetta.
you can't go after her second. Like, can we save our lives first before you get revenge? No, so we're gonna die, and it's all your fucking fault. It's just really
she's
funny.
a diva. She's a diva all around.
Ugh, yeah.
Well, and so speaking of Sarah, and the fact that she was, it was Sarah Jessica Parker's actual singing.
Yeah.
I have Sarah's song, I'll call it. And I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. Find where it is. There you are. This is a twofer because this also has James Horner's score. So ridiculous. It's so this piece is just so pretty.
Yeah, but really disturbing if you think about it.
It is. Yeah. But it's like you said, it's witchy. Like
it is.
It sticks with that.
They all have their talents. You know, Winifred
I'm gonna shimmy it out just because.
Sorry,
I'm now paranoid. I'm like, oh god, copyright.
Yeah. Well, no, like Winifred, she's the leader. She's the one who knows the spells and and has the relationship with the book.
Yeah.
You know, and then Kathy Nejimy, Mary, she is the one who she finds the kids.
Yeah.
She can sniff them out. That's her power. I kind of lost my power. Like, yeah.
So great.
And then Sarah is the seductive one, and she lures the kids in. So it is interesting how they all work together.
It is, and I thought it was very cool. Like you said, they all have their very different, unique powers.
Strengths. Yeah.
And I mean, you obviously Winifred being the strongest because has electric. She's got freaking Palpatine energy, force powers.
Yeah.
Just bzzz. And so.
Which I wanted to say real fast before we get toward the end of it. The final ending of the second movie. I don't know if you made it to the end of the movie.
I watched the whole thing. I don't remember it.
So she made a sacrifice to get the most power that any witch could have. It was a spell in the book, and Book refused to let her read it because
that's right.
He was like, you don't know what you're trying to do, and she's like, fuck you, I'm gonna do this anyways. And she read the spell. And she received the extreme power, and so did both of her sisters. And then they both just kind of, Mr. Stark, I don't feel good, just kind of faded away.
Yeah.
And she realized that the price for this was to give up the one thing that she cared about the most, her family.
Mm-hmm.
And she looked at Book, and she was like, nope, I don't want this anymore. I want to be gone. So she just kind of evaporated herself away, too. Yeah. She gave the book over to the main character girl of the movie because she was a witch to be kind of deal. So at one point, Book was not wanting to go back to Winifred. At one point, Winifred did something to upset Book. And it was when she was trying to do the spell to get all that power. She knew she wasn't supposed to, and Book knew this, and she's like, I don't care. I want to do it anyways. Mm-hmm. She broke Book's feelings, and he's like, fuck you. I'm going to stay with her. And she was like, come on, Book. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
They did give a lot more personification to Book.
He even cried at one point. He shed a
tear. That's true. Yep.
When all three of them disappeared and she said her final goodbyes and just faded away after her two sisters, Book shed a tear before he went to his new master.
That's true. I forgot that. And it's like I said, I've watched it the one time and then I was good. No, that's okay. That's okay. You know, it just wasn't my cup of tea. That's okay.
Yeah.
We like, different of opinions on Barely Chicks. So yeah, no, are there any absolute favorite scenes that you have for this movie? There's a lot of good scenes. But if any particular.
What sticks out? You go. I don't.
It's a stupid thing that sticks out. But when Satan's dancing with him and his wife comes down the stairs.
Oh,
Medusa.
And she's like, I just lost 5 pounds in the bathroom. What the fuck is happening in my living room, basically?
Oh, yeah. No, that was amazing.
And then they have Ralph Sickham.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to leave. So they sick their terrier on her.
Make us. Okay.
Get out. That's a good one. Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. No, I know mine. It's when they first come back, and Sarah and them are waiting outside of the museum because they saw the fire department, and she's like, "What a pretty spider!" She starts eating it. Yes. There's just something in that moment.
See, she's like innocently idiotic.
She's derpy,
and she does a lot of stuff just in the background.
I know.
What a pretty spider!
I just see its legs. It's great. I'm gonna have to go with that. I'll have to go with that one.
That
one makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, she's kind of hilarious. I think I'm gonna go with the whole
the musical number.
I was, but I think I'm gonna go with maybe the fight scene at the back. back end of it, where all the flying and the catching, just because technically it was really impressive.
Yeah, it was a super cool
and
scene.
it was still really fun. Mm-hmm. So you got Billy with his head knocked off, and
the circle of salt.
The whole thing is really, really cute.
I did love when she throws up the salt and Sarah just flips.
Yeah. Well, and then Winifred, or no, Sarah was going after Max, and Allison's like, "That's my boyfriend."
She
like beats him with a branch. Yeah. Just a lot of really, really fun little things, and and then how do they stop Mary? They grab her vacuum cleaner's cord. Yeah, it's a lot of little stupid things that just kind of make it really fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a super fun movie.
Yeah,
it is definitely one I recommend. It's for me one of my Halloween must watch. Must watch. I watch this movie. If this is a movie like if I'm in a bad mood, I'll just put it on. I don't care what time of the year it is. It just makes me happy because it makes me think about spooky season, and I love it. Spooky season.
Spooky season is
spooky
good.
Season.
Spooky, and we has had a great one this year.
It's been fun.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. Lots of fun movies. Lots of fun times. Fun friends. Yay! Yay!
So on that note, how about we?
It's a Leopardon, Johnny. It's gonna take us to Canyon Mountains.
Dude, I haven't seen that video in forever. Oh my gosh, those videos are freaking funny. All right, so let's. I think we are good. So let's go ahead and round table and give reviews, and I'll finish out. So I'm gonna kick it over to you, Snow. What do we want to? What do we want to give it? Books. Yeah, I can't do that with my snorkel. I can't do it. Nope. I sound like a tiny wolf.
It's the puppy learning to howl.
That's some cute shit right there. I'm gonna go with a solid 3.5 books. It's technically got a lot of fun stuff in it. The casting is good. It's definitely withstood the test of time. It's super fun. I have not seen this movie in a long time, and not for any particular reason. Just
Did you make it happy after watched it?
Oh yeah, it was one of those. I was like feeling super meh about watching it. I was like, okay, it's gonna be all right. And then I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm smiling, and then I'm like, it brought me back.
Gives you the folly feels.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoy it. The whole spectacle. It's super fun. I enjoyed it. It's fun film. I appreciated going back down this little memory trail with this one.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
And how about you, Mouse?
I think I have to agree.
3.5?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's a very good film.
3.5 books. Thank you. I can't do it.
Come to mommy.
Anything that jumped out for you?
This was one of my first touches into adulter movies for when I was a kid, because I watched only animated movies because I loved animated films.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing this come on instead of my standard Nightmare
Before Christmas?
Yeah. Or I can't remember the name, but it's there's a grandma and it's a skeleton key in the house. It's a weird animated movie. But anyways, it was a very good branch out into real life movies.
Like live Disney?
Yeah, like live action. And after this, it led me to Halloween Town.
Oh, I love Halloween Town.
Yeah.
Halloween Town's fun. Have you seen Halloween Town?
Oh.
It's good.
We need to do that.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Next Halloween.
Maybe next Halloween. And I'm going to continue the trend. I'm going to say a solid 3.5. But no, I'm lying. I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah.
Because it is that movie,
if it makes you smile.
If it makes you smile year round, it gets a 4.
Yeah.
I do. I love it. I can watch it repeatedly. I've watched it with my girls. They love it. This is just one, if you're in a bad mood, it just makes your day better. It just makes you happy. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. 4.
Books.
Thank you. I can't. I'm gonna outsource that because I can't do it.
It's the movie I was talking about is called Scary Godmother Halloween Spooktacular.
Oh, I've never seen that one. I have seen what is it called? The Halloween. It was a weird animated movie. It was a weird one. Anyways, 90s had some weird animated movies. Moving on. So yes. But thank you, ladies, for joining me for this spooky episode. And if you want to find us on Instagram. I appreciate you ladies being here and doing this one with me. It was fun.
Oh, of course.
And
time to go trick-or-treating.
That's right. Happy Halloween.
Woo! Bye. Ooh, till next year. Just kidding. Hi, this is Snow. Thanks for listening to our podcast, Barrel Aged Chicks. It's 2023 and the chicks are here. We are so excited to share our future episodes of Barrel Aged Chicks, FMK, and Slasher Gal Pals. We hope you are enjoying our shenanigans as much as we do. Give us a follow on Instagram at Barrel Aged Chicks. If you'd like the gals to do a fan request, contact us on Instagram and we will give you a personal shout out on the show. Our podcast is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and Good Pods. Swag available through the link on Instagram. Please check it out and thank you for your support. Special thanks to Carl Casey at White Bat Audio for his kick-ass music. He is amazing. Also, please grab a listen to the guys at Barrel Age Flicks Podcast. If you like booze, hilarity, and movies, check them out. Also, check out our network and other amazing podcasts at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Bye till next time, and thanks for listening to our show. The party's leaving!